Bienvenidos and welcome back to Puro Pinche Gol, the podcast where we discuss all things USMNT y la selección mexicana. My name is Adrian, and today it's just me. Adrian was busy, had some family in, but I wanted to get a video out talking about Christian Pulisic and his situation currently with AC Milan. As we know, anybody who's been following the USMNT, who's been following Pulisic at Milan, knows that he's had a really good time there. Complete 180 compared to his time in Chelsea, where he had oftentimes was, playing behind, other options in his attacking midfield role, in his forward role. Time and time and again had to kind of come back in and win his spot, but then lost his spot due to injuries. Just could not find the consistent health and consistent, starting 11 spot long term. He saw success at Chelsea, Champions League winner, obviously, but as far as personal goals, probably didn't meet what he wanted to. That's ever since since he moved to Milan. But Milan has been very active this offseason and brought in a lot of new quality and a lot of new players that Pulisic has played with in the past, funny enough, in his time at Chelsea. And a lot of people are starting to kind of analyze and maybe overanalyze what is going to happen to Pulisic's time or his minutes there at AC Milan now that there's more competition in that forward and attacking roles, right? We've seen him ever since Santiago Gimenez, ever since Joao Felix, all came in. We've seen him maybe not be starting as often as he was. He started a bench a couple matches in a row. He plays one, comes in as a sub, then plays one as a starter. And it's kind of been like that since these new signings have come in for AC Milan, right? But I think we need to step back, kind of analyze, this may not be a bad thing. He's played a lot of minutes this season, and it could be a minute management situation for him from the coach, Conchao. And we know he's injury prone, right? So to now that AC Milan is probably the best squad they've had in decade, at least in a decade, he has all these other options, the coach that is, to put in instead of Pulisic if Pulisic isn't feeling 100%, right? You're not going to want to risk who's been arguably your best player of the season and best player of the last two seasons if you don't have to. Now that you have, somebody else that can play in that position. But definitely, I just want to kind of go through those players for AC Milan that play in that position that Pulisic plays in. I'm not going to mention Santiago Gimenez. Santiago Gimenez plays as a number 9. Pulisic's not known to play in that position. He's played that a couple times for the USMNT. But for his club form, that's been different, right? But the coach likes to play 4-2-3-1. He changed it up, plays 4-3-3, a formation we're familiar with. But he knows how to play 4-2-3-1. Prefers playing 4-2-3-1 with one lone striker, right? Behind that, it's 3 forwards. And you have one center, left and right. Musah has recently been playing in that position as well. So Pulisic's not only competing against other players in that position, even against his co-patriot Yunus Musah. So Yunus Musah's there, Joao Felix, Sottil. We see obviously Pulisic, Rafa Leao, who's been Pulisic's that has been a deadly duo. Rafa on one side, Pulisic on the other side. Gimenez, not Santiago Gimenez with a J. Right, and you see Reijnders sometimes playing up there, so a lot of different choices there. Fofana sometimes even, right, to play in that position that Pulisic likes, and that's definitely kind of people on Twitter and on X and on social media have kind of been analyzing. He's back in the same situation that he was in at Chelsea. Has to prove himself once again to another manager, and yeah, I mean, it could reduce his minutes, but at the end of the day, the manager's there to win games. It's his job on the line, right? If he thinks that he's going to want to put the best 11 to save his job, right? Save his butt. So if Pulisic is the best 11, he'll start. It's a new manager. Pulisic has played against our furthest manager longer than Joao Felix has, and others that came in recently, right? But he has to prove himself to be able to be on the starting 11, and he has to show that he's able to be started like he showed all season, like he showed all previous season. And he has to stay healthy. Thankfully, since he's moved to Milan, he hasn't seen as many health issues as he did in Chelsea. So hoping he's able to stay fit. But definitely a lot of competition now in Milan, similar to how his situation was at Chelsea before that. So it's funny because a lot of those players, if you look back, at AC Milan are from Chelsea, right? You have Tomori, you have Abraham, you have Pulisic, you have obviously Joao Felix, probably missing one or two others. But AC Milan with a great transfer window, and Pulisic, who definitely is going to have to be fighting, Chukwueze, another player that I forgot that plays in that position, against a lot of competition there for Pulisic. So there's also that topic that I want to hit on that people are saying, oh, it's because he's an American, has to always prove himself, even though he's even the best AC Milan player. I don't believe that, man. I there might be some of that, thinking in Europe still, but if you're, like I said, the coach, right, you're there to win. Otherwise, you'll lose your job. You're going to play the best 11, regardless of nationality, right? So Pulisic has been the best, one of the top 2-3 players of Milan. I'd go even say one of the 1 or 2 top players. And so, when he's healthy and fit, it's his to lose that position. Just now, there is, more people knocking on that door. If Pulisic does start to drop his level, the manager won't hesitate to bring in one of the other 4 or 5 players that play in that position. But yeah, let us know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this AC Milan squad? What are your thoughts on Pulisic? His time, obviously, he was starter for so long here this season. And people are starting to, question and be like, why is he on the bench now? All of a sudden, now that they got these new signings, he isn't valued, blah, blah, blah. No, it's just, I think minute management for him. So let us know in your comments below. Are you worried for him at all? Are you scared that this is going to be a repeat of the Chelsea days there at AC Milan? I don't think it will. But yeah, let us know. And let us know if you've been following Milan. Obviously not doing the best so far. I think they're in 7th place in Serie so far this season. But they'll be wanting to turn it around. They're currently on a 4-win win streak that goes back, Champions League, Coppa Italia, and Serie. But yeah, let us know in the comments, and follow us here on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast of choice, or whatever your podcast of choice streaming service is. Follow us, we're there. And stick here, Puro Pinche Gol, for more Liga MX, Selección Mexicana, and USMNT content. See you guys.